very closely. On Afghanistan, we talked about our mutual efforts to meet Afghanistan's early and urgent needs.
The European Union has started negotiations with Iran. Dialogue, trade. We have started trade with Iran on the condition that we open a human rights and political rights dialogue. And as soon as we do not have human rights dialogue, political dialogue, the trade agreement does not exist anymore. We think this is the best way to help the reform forces of the Iranian society to get more influence in their society. The Palestinians have to show that they can stop the terrorism.
We are concerned about Iranian proliferation efforts and efforts to acquire nuclear technology that might lead to a nuclear weapon. It's a country that has no need for nuclear power generation capability, has more than enough fossil fuel to sustain itself for any number of years you care to project into the future. So we are concerned that these facilities might have another purpose, and we have discussed this with our friends in the European Union over time, and especially with our Russian friends who are helping with these kinds of projects. Iraq must come into full compliance with all United Nations Security Council resolutions linked to changes in Iran's.
It is very important that Israel knows that it must end with two states. And it's very important that the Palestinians know that they will never get the two states if terrorism continues, because then there will never be the climate in which you can negotiate the final settlements between the two states. There must be built some trust in the middle of all this distrust which is in the region. And that is what the roadmap tries, gradually to build up trust so that you finally can make the final settlements between those. And that's why the European Union the other day made a declaration saying you have to stop the settlements, because the way the settlements is now growing means that you will end up with a Palestinian state looking like a Swiss cheese. Really can stabilize the government.
There are elements to the roadmap that are received favorably by both sides, and there are elements that there is disagreement. One would expect that. But both sides understand that in order for us to move forward toward this vision of the end of violence, the end of terror, and the establishment of a Palestinian state, a roadmap is necessary. You have to have a way to move forward. And that way forward will be performance-based. It will require action on both parties, but it must end with the end of terror or violence, or else it is very difficult to move forward.